I am Blake. I'm down in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil right now. I'm building a non-custodial wallet and payment method for digital nomads, expats, and long-term travelers. I participated in SCF 15, and the deliverables have been completed for our version on testnet, and now I'm looking at SCF 20 to get into production before the end of this year. I think that went twice. Well, basically, I arrived in Brazil last year, and I stayed longer than I expected. I ran out of cash in my hand and was having difficulties getting more cash. And then as I was traveling around, I was finding many, many different locations where they didn't accept credit card. And now in Brazil, there is a real-time payments method that has become very popular. It's actually rivaling cards, debit and credit now, called Pix. And so when I looked at Pix, I thought this is an amazing payment method that is nearly free for the businesses to accept, but foreigners don't have access to it. And so what I learned is that our stellar anchors, they're actually using Pix for the on and off ramp. So it's fantastic. So by combining anchors from different countries, like where the tourists are coming down to Brazil, I can enable instantaneous payments for these people. Let's see. Yeah, so up to this point, I've developed a non-custodial wallet, but specifically targeting payments. So I'm not really focusing the marketing on remittances or peer-to-peer. It's more about tourists coming down and making payments directly to vendors. I'm also much more interested in additional national stable coins, such as the BRL, ARS, and pesos and so forth, because the receivers, they don't necessarily always want to hold USDC, and then when they're making payments to each other, it's not as interesting for them to have an American currency when they're in Brazil or they're in Chile. On top of that, there are many other products that they're using credit card on-ramp. But what I see from that is, of course, the cost is incredibly high for a credit card on-ramp. And, to get people to use your product, but they lose, 3% before they even get going is not going to be a way to onboard many people quickly. So I believe that using the best bank on-ramps while people are preparing to travel, this is going to be the real cost advantage. So as I mentioned, I'm in Rio de Janeiro. I've been going back and forth to Canada. I now have the digital nomad visa in Brazil, and there's an entire ecosystem being built around this digital nomad visa that was introduced early last year. There's government departments, and I have been in contact with them, and I'm just waiting to have my product ready to be able to do demos directly with these government departments. The interesting part about Rio de Janeiro that worked out well for me is it's the number one city in South America for foreign travelers to come to. And this equates to over 6 billion per year in US dollars in revenue for the entirety of Brazil, rather. So for SCF 15, I thought that there was some other potential competitors, but as I have now been in Brazil for quite some time, I'm not seeing them in the major cities. The only thing I can really say is a direct comparable right now is the Bitso Pay, but it's only operating in Argentina. And I don't yet have experience with it, but my Brazilian girlfriend used it and she says it works great. And it was actually great because then it helped her understand what I'm doing. However, Bitso, they're still more focused on being a crypto app, and they're not really specifically targeting normies, which is my angle. I'm not really looking in the first stage at onboarding crypto people. I'm trying to onboard normies.
Just coming up on time. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, well, another thing for me is that I'm focused on cashless and cardless. That's, I looked at Decaf Pay, and lately they're really moving in the direction of MoneyGram, and other products are really focused on having the Visa debit card, which I'm not. I want to get directly into the point of sale machines. Revenue. Well, about myself, so I was an immigration consultant in Canada. I've helped hundreds of Brazilians and other Latinos move to Canada. And now I'm in Brazil going through this problem and have discovered that it's quite a large group that is going through it at the same time. Next month, I'll have the 2 apps ready for beta testing. Right now I have APKs. I wasn't able to get the video ready for this, but I'm having some login problems at the moment on my device. But I'll get it onto my forum hopefully later today. Yeah, so per the SCF 15, all the deliverables are met. Now, still the product on testnet. Looking for SCF 20 to get the product launched in production before the end of this year. And to meet the summer season in Brazil, where the highest concentration of tourists are coming down here. So on the other end of it, like on business development, I've been spending my time with different trade shows and stuff. I have numerous contacts and have been developing a waiting list. So I'm ready to go. I'm excited for the app to be ready for testing next month, and I'm looking for your support. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for presenting. We have a few questions here, so I'll dive right in. Esteban asks, oh, Blake, I lost you for a minute. I'll get you back up. So one of the questions
Sorry, I
is...
thought I was just closing the presentation, but...
No, you have to also respond to questions, if you want to, of course. So Esteban asks, Blake, where can we see the deliverables from like SCF 15 on the website? Cannot see the update. Maybe it could be good if you want to shed some light on what you finished for your previous award, and yeah.
Yeah, so, well, first, anyone is welcome to ask me to get access to the code on GitHub. No problem there. I even have the APKs available, but just nothing is public right now. So in terms of what was completed, so we have the self-custody wallet, we have the authentication, we have the SEP24, and we have the I'm forgetting the name, ANCLAP. So we have ANCLAP implemented right now. We will be going next to Alfred Pay, and then also EuroC, Mikobo. And
Awesome.
so we have 2 different APKs. One is for the traveler and one is for the business. And we have the business app can generate a QR code, a dynamic QR code with the details of the business and the price. And then the traveler QR code reader can read the QR code to initiate the payment. And that's all done now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It looks like we are on time, but Blake, there's a ton of questions for you in the chat. So please go in there and answer. It's all the way from Matthias' question. I saw you on CCTP webinar the other day. So pretty interesting. Please respond in the chat if you're able to. And yeah, thanks again for presenting.